It's Friday, Feedback Friday, the feedbackiest day of the week. Huh, that was all over the place. What the heck? You notice Zelda-chan is with us. Yes, honey. Ending 2024 for Feedback Friday with Cat. Not just any cat, Zelda. Right, Vuvu Zelda? Yeah, Vuvu Zelda was Vuvu Zelda-ing. Zelda has more nicknames than Daenerys Targaryen. Um, but she's called Vuvu Zelda because this cat makes enough noise that you think she's the size of a panther. I don't know where the resonance comes from. This cat is loud. Right, Vuvu Zelda? Yeah. But Year of the Game is still going strong in terms of the voting. It's been a really fun year in terms of the responses and the categories. We just got a good bunch this year. We still do have some ties. So if you are on the Discord and you have not yet voted in any of the categories, if you have not yet voted and you are a Discord member, your vote could be the difference. Some things are 1 or 2 votes apart. Some are okay. We've got 2 ties so far. Let's see. I'm scrolling through them. Yeah. So there are currently 2 ties. A couple other categories that are very, very close. So 1 vote could swing a category, which means we picked well, right? There's a pretty even distribution in all but like 2 of them. 2 are overwhelming, but yeah, which is good. For people who don't know, I used to produce award shows for a music channel in Canada called Much Music. I did a show called Fromage, so it's cool to be keeping that tradition alive as well. So if you like this content or want to participate next year, help support this channel. Become a monthly patron, patreon.com/LeannaK, or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it, coffee.com/LeannaK. Both of these methods get you access to the Discord. We do it this way to prove that it's a real person. Because yes, like I talked about on Monday, Wednesday, still dealing with Stalker Chan. Her latest was spamming the DMs of the people who are communicating with the Fantasy Ball Company account that I'm involved with, New World Events. I don't even have I don't run that account. Megan does. But yeah, anybody who engaged with that account got a DM with that stupid Tumblr. Now, unlike the blessed mess that is the video game community, and the comic book community, romantasy fans went, this is just sus, and didn't believe her, which was a nice change. I don't know if it's because there's, the male to female ratio is, completely inverted, or whether it's just that demographic is more Instagram and TikTok savvy, that where there tends to be a lot of spam and a lot of impersonation and a lot of crap like that. They're just a little bit more attuned to when something's sus, but also a Tumblr blog does not have the same impact now as back in, how long has she been chilling this crap? I mean, she started right after the incident in like 2013. Well, she was stalking even then. She started stalking after I threw her out of an event when she stole her boyfriend's phone. It was only after that I found out how violent she was. But yeah, she took out that Tumblr blog. It was around Gamergate that she really started the online harassment, after she recognized that, hey, if she kept doing it in person, she would go back to jail. But like, this is the person that I'm dealing with, right? And the fact that somebody like this, it's this uncanny valley of, you sue someone for defamation when they have money to take, right? Because you know that somebody who is, we'll say, motivated enough will just keep taking out sock puppet accounts, because part of the motivation here is that she thinks she's not going to get caught, that she's so very clever that people don't see through the alts. And the alts are really obvious. I mean, that's the thing about defamation. The person to blame for it was the person who started the defamation, and that's her. So it doesn't matter if it's her or her friends. It all comes from her. But she doesn't have many friends, so this is why she does this. But yeah, it's nice that things have evolved so that people don't buy this crap. That's a nice change. And obviously, because this is, such a cornerstone of my ongoing living with PTSD, that it's nice to be believed for a change. And that, I mean, you guys always believed, but you guys remember back in the Gamergate days where both sides used her nonsense to, attack me and discredit me because I bothered to do my job. That's the thing. That's the thing that sucks about video game journalism and then media in general having such a bad reputation now. Because when you actually do your job and you do expose someone who is bad, but the law can't touch, right? It's sort of, okay, not all bad behavior deserves jail, but people deserve to know what this person is about so they can make their decisions accordingly. That's the whole purpose of the public's right to know, right? And when you do your job, bad people get really angry at you. And they will use any systemic power, any institutional power they think they have. So if they think they can go to your boss and get something, they will. If they think they can utterly destroy your reputation online, hiding behind a sock puppet account like a coward, because I put my name on my claims. I don't use alt accounts to hide behind anonymity. That ruins the protective quality of anonymity. I believe that people have the right to go about their business and be anonymous online because they have jobs that otherwise would. When people report you to your employer because of a tweet, we need anonymity, right? People have the right to have a life outside of work that includes voicing some unpopular opinions, right? And as long as they're not representing the company, they have that right. Even if I think some of their ideas are completely shitty, they have that right. When someone weaponizes anonymity to be a coward and not put their name on claims so people can see if it's credible or not, that ruins it for everybody. And this sort of segues into the reporting sexual harassment of men. Because why is Stalker Chan stalking me? Because I supported her boyfriend that she was abusing against her. That's what started the whole thing. I could prove she was lying. I was there to see some of her abusive behavior. She stole his phone at an event I was running, broke into his house where his sister and mother were asleep and left the phone on his bed, right? Like, that is pretty cut and dried. That is illegal. But he was so abused, he wouldn't press charges. And so, she eventually punished him for leaving her by faking abuse. And she got in trouble with the police. She blames me for this, but she got in trouble with the police because she made conflicting statements to the police. Instead of taking responsibility for this, she claims I manipulated the cops. I didn't even speak to the police until she'd already been charged. The whole thing is just a complete crock. And by the way, if you file for a restraining order against someone, the blessed freedom of information laws in this province allow the person you filed a restraining order against to get a copy of the filing you did with your statement. Stalker Chan got that and put a piece of it online to claim that proved I was lying. The fact that somebody can get the statement you made in a restraining order so that they can take it out and look at it and continue to be enraged, that is a fucked up part of Ontario law. Like, what is that about? Just, that doesn't make any sense. And if I had known that she could get a hold of that thing, would I have ever filed that paperwork? Absolutely not. That's not safe. Like, the fact that she is still obsessing over that, and everything I put in that document was true. If anything was a provable lie like she claimed, I would be arrested, because that's what she got arrested for, right? Like, this stuff is nuts. And one of the things I learned in this whole experience is there is one system for women. There's literally a separate line and you go into the police station I went into to file this. There was literally a separate line if you were filing a report against a former domestic partner versus filing a report against anybody else. So your boyfriend's ex, your friend's ex, he was her boyfriend, you go to the non-domestic line, even though it's connected to domestic violence. Now, interestingly, at least when I was out in Alberta, if you are actually present for an assault, you get added to that protective order. So I could actually get a protective order, and I don't even live in the province in Alberta, but because it wasn't directly involved in a domestic incident in province of Ontario, it's very hard to get. And that means that if somebody's truly abusive, they don't go after you because you're protected by the order. They go after every friend you have and isolate you. And that law really needs some work. And I don't know how to do it, because you have to make it so that it can't be abused by bad actors. And obviously this is a real challenge for men, because I think that in a lot of these circumstances, I know with me, I just want her to leave me alone. I don't want her to go to jail. I just want her to stop lying, you know? I don't want to have to waste thousands of dollars suing her because she has no money. That's part of the reason she keeps doing this. I have a name anybody cares about. No one knows who the hell she is, which is why I never say her name. I give her a cutesy poo nickname because, you know, and thank God Instagram and TikTok apparently allow you to block the IP address, like the device that it's coming from, the device ID, not the IP. So anything that comes out of her phone or her computer gets blocked. That's a good system, right? All I want is for her to stop lying, leave me alone. That goes for anybody else who's been grandstanding off me reporting sexual harassment of a man. It's a man, and they're all freaking women, right? They are all women, and they all claim to be either supporters of men, you know, not that crazy kind of feminist, or brave abuse survivors advocating for the rights of abuse survivors. They are all going after me and grandstanding for money on the fact that I am getting attention for reporting the sexual harassment of a man, among other things, right? And that just sickens me, because the entire reason I didn't even make the statement. I wrote it, but Megan put it up on the New World Events thing, and it was text. There was no voice. There were no images. I don't want attention for this. I want this guy to be able to get on with his life, and I want him to be believed, and I want the people who are doing it, because he's not the first one. I want them to stop. And it is so hard to get abusive women to stop unless they become physically violent, because physical violence and menacing are the only things that you can go to the police for, right? If they're just destroying your reputation, it's not criminal defamation or criminal libel unless you have, say, you lied about somebody and so someone went to beat them up, and so it was, you wasted police resources. You wasted public resources or something. In order for it to be criminal defamation, you have to actually cost the province or the country money. That's how it works here. And so, unless you've got the money to sue, and, I want to do fun things for fun people to try to get people at a meeting, to try to help with the loneliness epidemic, I'd rather put the 10 grand it would cost me into that, because I'm not getting any of it back, right? The judgment goes against her. The judgment goes against these other people. The entire reason they keep defaming me is to get money, because they can't get it any other way. And so there'll be nothing to take. And that's the frustrating thing. There should be a way to get these people to stop that doesn't involve serious financial penalties. And that's why I put it on the line for this guy, because, the event company did a fresh round of threats against the complainant's fiance. But yeah, I think they're empty, so they can get on with their lives. They're not going to come after them for money, because that's the thing, right? Like, it shouldn't be one tier of justice for people that can piss 5 figures away, knowing you're never going to get it back, and then everybody else. Most people in this economy don't have 10 to 15 grand to go to court. We don't. I know I don't. It's a real issue. There should be, 'cause one of the things in the comments that I saw, it was an ongoing thing. Some people said, fortunately, they didn't say I don't believe you. They just said, for me, I was taken seriously. That's good. That really gives me hope. I know in my events, I take it seriously. Case in point, this wasn't even my event, and I backed this guy because I know what I saw. And I came to the determination that it was inappropriate behavior without talking to him. That's the other thing. I made a point of not talking to the guy about it before I said something, because there's no claim that we coordinated stories that way. It was in way before there was any potential of that. The only conversation I had with the guy was we were showing each other cat pictures on our phones, right? And a brief conversation about something else. I just happened to be in the room when he got into a fight with the co-lead of the event. And then the co-lead came over and threatened to retaliate against him. He said it to me because the guy wanted to leave early to get away from the woman who was being wildly inappropriate, right? What I saw was sexual harassment. And the excuses are disgusting. And the suggestion, like, she's calling him a liar without calling him a liar. The line is, this person has said things previously that turned out to not be true, right? That is just so on the line. But she did it. And she just is narcissistic enough to think it's okay when she does it. It's flattering. It's not. And I saw a lot of comments that broke my heart, because it's true. That a lot of times when guys say they don't like this behavior, they're mocked, right? And other people mentioned about, the attractiveness of the individual doing that. And I want to talk a little bit about that because while, how do I put this? While an attractive person hitting on you might be seen as more flattering, right? The whole point, the whole linchpin of sexual harassment is, did it make the person uncomfortable? Would a reasonable person have been able to detect that they were uncomfortable? And was there some imbalance of power that would make the person feel intimidated to say, stop that? Or if they do say stop that, were they retaliated against, right? Those are the pillars of sexual harassment. And no, as one person tried to claim in the aftermath of this, me helping them so much that a huge amount of their sales were based on my help, that's not an imbalance of power. That's somebody being really nice. And comments like that are why I stopped helping. Also the racism. But yeah, that's the problem, is that women, when it's a woman harasser, they take these concepts that are valid concepts and find a way to twist it. That, even though they were the one that was completely inappropriate and they were the one that was superior in the organization. I mean, one of the biggest hunks of bullshit that this company is trying to, the woman who did it is trying to pull, is she's now claiming she was never one of the leads of the company. That may have been true on paper, but it was represented to me that she was the boss, that I was supposed to just stay away from her and eat her shit because she was all powerful, and everybody was just eating her shit because she was all powerful. Now, if that was a lie, that's between the two co-organizers. It's what people understood. And women will play the victim. Men, a lot of guys, the staggering thing is how similar it is when a woman does it and when a man does it. It's just, what is society more likely to believe? Now, to be fair, in this case, even though they keep making threats and then retracting them, the woman who did it, sister, put out a whole trash video on me and others and deleted it. So, obviously the tide is turning. Obviously people are believing. Obviously we are gradually, and all we want is for them to let these poor people just get on with their lives and stop making threats and stop retaliating. They are asking for nothing but the right to be left alone by these people. And so, of course, they attack me because I back them. And it's a little safer to go after me. I don't know why. I just have that kind of face. I guess I have a punchable face. I don't know. But it's really interesting how people just... And it could be because I'm a witness that has, despite what they claim, no reason to lie about this. Because every time I stick my head up, I know I'm going to have to deal with Stalker Chan. So I had to feel pretty strongly about how poorly this guy was treated. And I think the reason they're going after me is when a woman's backing the guy who's not a romantic partner, who's nobody, who barely knows him, who actually was condescended to accidentally because he was not told what my role was in the event, so it was a rough start and I still backed him. They need to take me out because the story's sticking, it's credible. And that's the shitty thing, is that You got to trust, especially when you're a man, and it's a harder road, right? You have to trust that the people who have your back will continue to have your back when your abuser drops a tactical nuke on their head socially. And that's an incredibly vulnerable place, and guys are fed this nonsense about being this sort of lone wolf, like being totally self-sufficient. It's really hard to see, and I find it's harder for guys. I don't know why, and I'm not going to put a moral judgment on it. I find it's harder for guys to see someone, and if you're a heterosexual guy, it's even harder when that someone is a woman, right? Not because you're attracted. No, I do not expect his fiance stunning, okay? I do not expect he's attracted to me at all. No. But it's the paternalist thing where, women aren't supposed to tank. And hi, Midna. And that is bullshit. I'm a real good tank, right? And I hate that guys feel worse. And I get it. It's not bad. It's not sexist. It's shame. It's guys thinking that they're supposed to be the protectors. They're the ones that are supposed to go out and tank. And when a woman is tanking for them, it's shameful. It's emasculating. And I get why guys feel that way. It's not, I'm not, don't let the outward package fool you. Inner Kratos, inner Billy Butcher. Like I said, I tank very well. But it makes the whole thing harder because it's psychic damage, right? It's just the guilt. And I really believe that this is why these female abusers do it. Because they know how hard it is for this guy to watch other people be attacked, defending them, backing them. And guys, please let us do it. If we are saying we're okay with this, we got you, let us do it. It is a good thing. Like, please let us. My belief system, this is a mitzvah. This is the kind of stuff we're put on this planet to do. Not the things that are easy, the things that are right. But it is hard. And I know that, unfortunately, Stalker Chan is not the only abusive partner of a male friend that went after me. And the only thing that I think is fair to ask of the guy in the abusive situation is, please leave the abusive situation and please do not contact the abuser. One of the things that Stalker Chan's ex she was really good at manipulating him. And so he kept meeting her alone to talk. And we kept telling him, she can claim anything, dude. She's already claimed you assaulted her. What's to stop her? You get in that car with her. She tears her own blouse. She starts screaming. Suddenly you're fucked. Like, just stay away once you're out. I get that leaving is difficult. And with men, like women, when you're leaving an abusive partner, it is the most dangerous time. I know a lot of these situations where the household pet disappeared during the breakup. Yeah, grisly. Because these abusers go for the defenseless thing that you love. They just go after everything you care about. And unfortunately, what I found is some of these guys get back in bad relationships. And this other guy, I had to cut contact with him because he kept getting in relationships with women who weren't good for him. And we have the conversation about boundaries, and he said he could handle it. And then the boundaries went bye-bye, and then things started going bad. And then And it's like, okay, I have gone to the mat for you. I have taken reputational damage for you, and you can't learn from your mistakes. I'm out. And, but I will still, if anybody asks me what happened with his ex, I will tell the truth. I don't have to have respect for the way the guy handled it to tell the truth. Because the point is, it's the truth. And the truth doesn't change when you're mad at someone. And this is why I joke that I'm a lawful good character, because I would have every reason to not get involved. I would have every reason to not take the hits again and again and again, because man, they're racking up. But here's why I do it, okay? Because I didn't want to be the anti-Anita Sarkeesian. She made me into it. Oh my God. Still pisses me off. That was not what I was doing. But I just want everybody to be able to enjoy content that gives them comfort. If it's games, if it's trashy romance novels, if it's, Warhammer 40K. Oh my God, the secret level episode for Warhammer 40K, Dungeons & Dragons if you're a big D&D nerd, and Armored Core and the 40K episode, so good. Secret level on Amazon. But anyway, nerding done. Everybody deserves to have a place here. Women deserve to have a place. And I know the crappy treatment I got, the number of guys in game journalism and other places that I just got, like, the hairs on my neck. Hairs on my back. I don't know, hairs on my back. Yeah, the hairs on the back of my neck. What? Woo! Image. The inner the inner back hair. God. Anyway, the hairs on the back of my neck standing up with guys, and then of course it comes out they were hardcore abusive. And then they sort of quietly go away because it was true. But I don't want everything to just flip and have men go through the exact same thing. It's awful to go through that. It's awful to feel like you have to take it. And every guy in these situations, right? We finally get to have the discussion. I hear them say, I thought it was normal. I thought this was just something I have to put up with. And that was how I felt back in the day. And it sickens me, right? Because I know what it did to me. And it's going to do the same thing to anybody in that situation, because it makes you feel like a piece of meat in a bad way. It makes you feel like you have no worth as a person except to be abused for the gratification of other people. And that is wrong. It's not true. And first and foremost, I have a commitment to safe environments. Whenever I do a Discord, it's why I was so hesitant to run a Discord. When I do events, when I do anything, when I invite people to a party, private party, right? I am prepared to be the villain in people's eyes so that they have a safe and dignified experience. I do not accept cowardice. And that means I end up as the villain a lot of the time. There's a reason I really like Loki from Norse mythology, because the times where he was least popular with the Aesir were when he was telling the truth, or his version of the truth. Anyway, and he's seen as this, god of lies, this trickster. Tricksters pack the biggest punch when they're speaking truth to power. That is the purpose of tricksters. And it's tough, but I'm not going to complain about how hard it is, because as hard as it is for me, it's harder for the person who is harassed or abused. And I can set boundaries with people who continue to make the same mistakes because, oh my God, I'm not a masochist, right? I can only take so much. I don't like being lied about. I don't like having people attack my reputation dishonestly. You know, if I legitimately fuck up, if I legitimately do something wrong, have at it. But these are lies, you know? And the lies are so like, it's like, oh, you misunderstood me. It always was, you misunderstood me. And I didn't know. He should have told me. And then they just start lying. Then they just flat out lying. I did nothing wrong. It's her. Like, no, you did something wrong. And beyond doing something wrong, you hurt someone. You made someone feel demeaned. Why don't you care about that more than your pride? It's not the end of the world if you get better. You know, this event, this woman who sexually harassed this guy, I kept saying to her when she finally had a conversation with me, you need to do better. You need to do better. You know, I want it to be better. I want her to learn. I finally determined she's not going to learn. She's not. Because the more she gets it, and then something resets in her brain. Oh no, I did nothing wrong. They're all against me. They just want attention. She's just that. I could be the most evil so-and-so on the planet. I could be a literal demon. It still happened. Me being a good person or a bad person doesn't change whether that behavior was right or wrong. You know, it doesn't matter what situation you're in. Some behavior is just wrong. You can understand why someone did something wrong. They were in a bad circumstance, but it's still wrong, right? So that's hopefully, I'm doing this to try to make things better. And I think the more we talk about it and the more we see things that actually go okay, the better it's going to get. So that's my intent for talking about it. There'll be one more Manly Monday for 2024. Then Monday, Twitch. I'm going to do Twitch on Monday night instead of Tuesday night. We're going to do the Year of the Game Awards live. And then I'm going to port it to YouTube for Tuesday's video. So if you are on Twitch and you want to see the announcement of the winners live, join us Monday night at 6 p.m. I think 6 p.m. I will check that. I will put it on the server. Oh, I'm in the wrong month. Yeah, 6 p.m. will work next week. Yeah, otherwise, everybody have a great weekend. And, help support this channel. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/okay or coffee. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.